What do you call an alligator that wears a vest?
Shut up.
I'll give you the answer at the end of this episode.
My God, I hate you right now.
You're a fucking tease.
I love you now. I'm so invested in this. Welcome back to another episode of I'll See Myself Out. Today we're talking about Lake Placid.
We heard a man was bit in half.
It's a crocodile.
50 feet.
They came here to study it. Some kind of mutant.
Nobody goes near the water.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going back in the water. They came here to save it.
Set a trap on the beach.
Come and get it!
The question is, who will save them?
Kelly!
Lake Placid.
He didn't eat me. Because he just ate a cow, stupid.
You guys don't know me. My name's Norm.
I'm Terry. I'm Ryan.
I'm Dan.
What's a lotion on this?
I was just about to say, should we start lotioning up for Dan here?
These are going to be your only warnings. We will use foul language.
There will be spoilers.
And we're going to use foul language.
He's speaking in the microphone. I'm so sorry, Dan. I just feel riled
fine.
up.
How moist can your mouth get?
Lake Placid. Okay.
Well, for starters, happy 98th birthday to Betty White.
I want to drink to that.
Yeah. Who, by the way, is the real villain in this movie.
Who knew?
Nobody knew.
Yeah.
When she first came on, I thought like cameo at best. This is not anything to do with the story. They just like found this people. Maybe she's going to get eaten. Cheers, Betty.
98.
To Betty.
To Betty.
May she live another 98 years.
So what's there to really say about this movie?
What was the main character's name? That girl?
There was a main character?
The character's name or the actress?
I don't really care. One of them.
I don't know either.
Nobody cared about that enough to take it in.
Anyways, way over the top. Oh, you guys aren't inbred out here? Nice to see that.
I felt like this movie was actually written as a comedy, and then they realized there needed to be something in it that made it more interesting than people being bitchy to each other.
It's just this sassy movie, but a crocodile.
Oh, seriously. That's what I think happened. I think that they put this movie together and they were like, oh, this needs to be more than people insulting each other around a lake. There basically isn't one character in this movie who isn't aggressively giving other people shit in every conversation.
You guys notice the Twinkie in the beginning of the movie?
I did notice that he just pounded one and then cracked open another one.
The opening sequence where the diver gets eaten by the crocodile.
Okay, yeah.
He's sitting in the boat waiting for him to come up. He's just like
He's just crushing Twinkies?
eating his feelings because this guy's a sarcastic asshole to him.
I think he's also incredibly Irish. So good job for covering up that accent.
He plays Mad Eye Moody in like Harry Potter, yeah.
Hank and Hector have that tussle. He said, I got a black belt in karate. Take your best shot. And then he just punches him in the fucking face. And then he's all pissed off. You're supposed to say go. You're supposed to bow. And then you say go. You're supposed to say go in karate. They're walking out of frame. And he's still going off about, like, you're supposed to say go. You hear Hank go, yes, and go, fuck yourself.
Yeah, everybody's like so taciturn and just fed up.
Yeah, they've all got like mosquito bites and ticks. And they're like so short with each other. Because they're actually in the wild. Like, they didn't build that forest for the movie. Like, they've been like...
They dropped him in for 6 months in the middle of the fucking woods and they all hate each other. There's like, I fucking hate this movie. I hate this job.
Yeah, we find out later on that like 90% of the movie was just ad-libbed because everybody's just so pissed off.
Everybody realized they weren't getting paid halfway through shooting. They were like, fuck it.
There was a revolt halfway through and they burned all their scripts. And they're just like, fuck it, you're getting what you're getting. You want to circle back around to Betty White?
Betty White, the hero of the movie. Everyone says she's a villain. I think she's a hero. She protected the goddamn alligators.
What did she do about the cows? Oh, whoa. Hold on. How often do you think she was this crocodile was eating cows? Conservatively, what's your guess?
My guess is once a month.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm going to go once a month.
Okay, we'll go once a month conservatively. How does she have the budget to be getting 12 cows a year?
She got that widow money.
Are they just passing around bulls and giving birth to cows all year?
I don't think she's a cattle ranch sitting in the back bush of Maine.
Yeah, logistically, there's no way she could keep up that supply chain of feeding what I assume is probably a 5,000-pound alligator or crocodile. In the film, they loosely say it's like 30 feet long. So a 30-foot alligator is going to be pretty fucking heavy. I'm also not a scientist. I should add that in at the start of every one of these fucking things. So I guess if once we get to the point of trying to acknowledge the fact that this fucking crocagator exists in the first place, that was aggressive. You need to calm down.
A crocagator.
Yeah. Once you accept that it exists and you start just trying to get into the characters of this movie, I feel like there really aren't a lot of great approaches to dealing with reports of like a creature that's eating people and flipping boats.
But did you also notice that there's parts when they're going in, they're trying to trap it on land, that she steps out like 3 feet and then all of a sudden she can swim like 6 feet down? Right near the end when the alligator manages to crash the helicopter that is still on the ground and still up, she was able to swim like 6 feet down and hide behind a tree.
You're talking about when they went from the camera being above the surface to being under. Yeah, it did look pretty deep down there.
Are you a lake doctor?
No. I am not a lake doctor.
Guess that settles that.
Could you call those a lockjaw?
No, you can't.
My favorite scene of the entire movie is when you're expecting the gator to come up and kind of like bite their fingers or bite their hands or bite the legs. All of a sudden the guy's like pulling up the anchor and he gets his head fucking bitten right clean off. And the gator's just like, clean cut, laser precise off, and then pukes up the head later.
It's pretty weird how like the characters and what they're trying to achieve in the film is so simple, but it takes them so many half-assed tries to do something so basic as to like determine if something exists and then to try to catch it.
Let's dangle a cow from a helicopter.
Oliver Platt's character was like there to make the rest of the movie worth watching, because once they exhausted all of like the jump scares and reasonable attempts at doing something really fucking stupid to catch a giant alligator, he was brought in and like I liked his character a lot. He was an archaeologist who was obsessed with alligators and crocodiles and mythology. The real turning point is when he gets in the water and the crocodile comes up to him and he's like, oh, you're not like the others. I would have loved if the alligator spoke.
You're different from the others.
I'm gonna eat your ass. I like how they offer before he gets in the water with the deputy. She's like, I'll have sex with you, just don't get in the water. What does she do the rest of the time she's serving as a deputy? How does she de-escalate situations?
She's not really a deputy.
They just gave a hooker a badge. There's so many random scenes where like they really went out of their way to make things way harder than it had to be. How the fuck did they think that whole situation at the end when they're trying to catch the gator was gonna go with the tranq darts and the helicopter where all of their trucks are like backed up to the water?
They weren't expecting the second gator to come out and at least unleash a fucking cannon.
The sheriff should have fired his gun at the gator and Steve Irwin should have came flying out and then just duct taped his mouth and sat on his back. I thought way more people would have gotten eaten.
How many people died in the movie? 3?
I mean, is this alligator really that bad? It's only killed 3 people. I mean, more people die in Florida like every day from other people.
I'm more on the side of the gator on this one. See, the gator is just being its own natural thing. If you got in its territory, you kind of deserve what you get.
What did you just say? Saying they were asking for it?
Are you victim blaming?
If you're camping in the middle of the woods cooking a steak or salmon over a fire and a grizzly bear comes and eats your ass, you kind of fucking deserve it. It's like that guy who lived with the grizzly bears for a year was shocked after he got eaten by the fucking grizzly bears.
Was he shocked after he got eaten?
Well, during.
Or how about that grizzly that got eaten in this movie?
That one scared me a bit.
Yeah, the bear showed up and was like, I'm gonna eat your ass. And then the gator showed up and was like, that booty. What is there to really get out of this movie other than watching people be shitty to each other and almost get eaten all the time?
When you watch movies like Jaws, people just keep going in the water. This was like the first movie where there's like a water-based threat where it's like, so can we count on you and not going back in the water? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm not going back in the water. I want to see that in every water-based threat movie that exists. And this is the first time I've seen it.
During the movie, when they're talking to
Oliver Platt?
when they're talking to him, doesn't he quote and say that gators don't attack underwater, which we know not to be true based on some of the most ridiculous scenes of the movie?
That first guy got attacked underwater. Just like completely glazed over the fact that the first guy was killed underwater.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, they don't really see that well. See, they've got these dictating lenses.
Backtracking every little bit that he's wrong throughout the movie.
They try not to eat underwater. You know, it's like it's bad for their guts.
I don't know. I feel like the only thing this movie ever achieved for me was reminding me that I'd never want to swim in lakes as a child and continuing that irrational fear into adulthood.
Hey, you know what? I prefer pools. When I was a kid, I jumped in the water, and as soon as I got under, something from the base of my back right to the top of my head just swam. And I was like, I don't know why people do this.
I strongly prefer lakes, mostly because I want to die.
Norm can't take a shower without wanting to be in like a compromising situation because he just wants to die so bad.
How would you rate this gator movie?
On a scale of 1 to 3 Platts, I enjoyed it. I would watch it again. I would want to watch the Lake Placid Island or something weird like that, and Lake Placid versus Anaconda. I really want to see that, just to satisfy that for me.
So out of 3 Platts?
3 Platts.
3 Platts?
3 out of 3 Platts.
You're not even going with like a 2.5. You're going straight up 3,
I mean, Platts aren't a very high scale.
which is why you got to break them down into 8s. I actually enjoyed this when I was a lot younger. I watched it quite a few times. I'm going to go 6.5 crocodiles out of 10.
I'm going to go 98 out of 100 Betty Whites.
I'm going 10 out of 10 Harrelsons.
I want to thank our sponsors. Brock Street Espresso for having us here again. They've got fantastic coffee from Propeller Coffee out in Toronto. Thanks for letting us do this here. Appreciate ya. Oh, fuck, we suck at this.
I'm going to eat your ass.
Thank you, Brock Street. What do you call an alligator that wears a vest? An investigator. I'll see myself out. What's the matter with you? Is this fake? Are you faking this?
That's so fucking funny.
If you turn up the audio right after you tell the joke, you can actually hear Norm giggling as he laughs.
When you said you needed to prepare yourself, I thought you were like playing it up. Like you literally needed to prepare yourself. See yourself out.
Investigator.